Hi, everybody. My name is J.B. Holston. I'm the Executive Director of the Colorado Department of Higher Education. It's great to be with all of you here. Thanks so much for coming out. This is a really important event. It's an important event for Colorado. We'll talk more about that, but it's also admirable that you're all out here before and during the snowstorm and before the Avs game. So thank you all for coming. It promises to be a good evening, and congratulations to everyone that we're honoring tonight. The governor is sad that he can't be here, but he has recorded an enthusiastic video. So here are some words for all of you from Governor Polis.
Hello, future educators. I'm Governor Jared Polis. Here in Colorado, we know education is the best investment we can make in our state and our future. And I want to thank all of you for dedicating your time and talents to this important work you're about to embark on. Thank you, J.B. Holston, the Colorado Department of Higher Education, and of course, Commissioner Cordova with the Colorado Department of Education for putting together this great celebration. We're so proud of Colorado educators working hard across our state to help all students thrive. Each one of us can remember a teacher or many teachers who made a real positive impact on our lives. In Colorado, we're doing our part to help our talented, hardworking educators do what you do best, helping to shape and grow our next generation of leaders and learners. I'm proud that we've passed full-day kindergarten and universal preschool and finally fully funded our schools. I've been proud to support Donors Choose opportunities to help teachers get the learning supplies needed for classrooms, and will continue to keep fighting to ensure you have the support and resources to help every learner get a high-quality education. Thank you for your dedication to this impactful work, and congratulations.
I feel like we're supposed to go like that. Great. I just have a few comments, and then I wanted to introduce Dr. Cordova for some comments as well. It's truly an honor to be with you today and to celebrate the students recognized on the Future Educator Honor Roll. To the students being honored, it's about you today, your commitment to education, to learning, and to the students you'll one day serve is something to be proud of. On behalf of the Colorado Department of Higher Education, congratulations and thank you for what you're doing. Choosing to pursue a career in education is no small decision. You're choosing a profession that shapes lives long after the bell rings. You're choosing to lead, to mentor, to challenge, and to inspire. You're choosing a path that requires heart, resilience, and purpose. You're choosing a profession, Colorado needs educators like you now more than ever. All of you know that we've got a massive shortage in teachers here in this state and across the country. You'll be filling that shortage. We need many more of you, but we're honored to honor you today for doing that. Across the state, schools are working to recruit and retain teachers who reflect the communities they serve, who understand their students' experiences, and who are committed to helping every learner succeed. By stepping forward as future educators, you're answering a critical call. It's a mission. At the Department of Higher Ed, we believe that strong educator prep is essential to a strong education system. Prep is short for preparation. I just had to make sure you all got that. That belief guides our work to expand access to high-quality educator preparation programs, strengthen partnerships between colleges and school districts, and reduce the barriers for students entering the profession. We're focused on making the pathway into teaching clearer, more affordable, and more supported, from high school exploration to college completion and licensure. Programs like the Future Educator Honor Roll matter because they recognize potential early. They send a powerful message to students: you belong in this profession, your aspirations are worth investing in, and you're icons for those that you will teach. To the families, teachers, counselors, and mentors here today, thank you. Students don't arrive at this moment on their own. They get here because someone encouraged them, believed in them, supported them, helped them see themselves as leaders and educators. Your guidance makes a lasting difference, so thank you. To our school and higher education partners, your collaboration is essential to building a sustainable educator workforce. When we work together, K-12 schools, institutions of higher education, and state partners, we create pathways that are not only accessible, but truly supportive. To the students, once again, you're stepping into a profession that will challenge you, but it will also change you. You'll have moments of doubt, moments of growth, and moments of incredible impact. Not every profession has all of those. There will be days when you don't realize how much you matter, but you will. Students will look back after their time with you and remember you, and they'll value you. Every student who finds their confidence because of you, every learner who feels seen and supported in your classroom, every young person who discovers what is possible, that will be part of your legacy. Colorado's counting on you. Our students are counting on you. We're excited to support you every step of the way. Congratulations on this well-deserved recognition. Thank you for choosing education. And thank you for choosing to make a difference. Enjoy this moment. You've earned it. I'd now like to introduce Commissioner Cordova. I won't read her full bio because we do want to get home tonight. But let me just make a couple of introductory comments about you, if I might. In June 2023, Dr. Susana Cordova was named Colorado's 18th Education Commissioner and the first Latina to hold the state's top education position. Prior to being named commissioner, Dr. Cordova spent more than 30 years in education. She served as an assistant principal, principal, director, chief academic officer, chief schools officer, deputy superintendent before becoming the superintendent of Denver Public Schools. She also served as deputy superintendent in Dallas ISD, the second largest district in Texas. Susana grew up in Denver and was a student in the district she later went on to lead. We're honored to have you here, and thanks for all you do for the state.
Probably the thing that I'm most proud of on my resume is I started my career as a teacher, and I have never, ever, ever regretted my decision to go into education. It is hands down, outside of getting married to my husband, the best choice I have ever made in my life. And I'm an incredibly proud mother of a fifth-year teacher who also works in the metro area. So I just want to congratulate you all on this tremendous honor. I hope that you all feel the exact same way that I do about the decision to become a teacher. And I do think it's really important to frame this as a decision because you have choices. There are so many different things that you can do with your time and your talent. And you have made what I think is the very best choice. You have chosen to support every child in your classroom to learn, grow, and reach their potential. You're going to become part of like a wonderful group of fellow educators in the school communities that you'll be serving in. And you will help make schools the heart of thriving communities, which makes Colorado a better and stronger place to live. And it's really nice that we're celebrating you all this week because this is Teacher Appreciation Week. And we're really excited. Next year at this time, you are going to be bringing home handmade cards, little gifts, gift certificates. You'll have PTA-sponsored lunches. My favorite gift that I ever got from one of my students was a hot dog wrapped up in a tortilla. And he told me, "Miss, everything can be a burrito." And that was actually one of my favorite gifts that I ever got from one of my students. And I want to just share some of the lessons I think that I learned about being a teacher in the schools that I worked in. The first and probably the most important thing that you can do is find your people. Schools are big. They're all different kinds of folks who are going to be working alongside you, and make an effort to find the people who approach the work with love and positivity, with optimism and resilience. Because has anybody heard of the negativity bias? Like, as humans, we are hardwired for negativity. And it really goes back to evolution, like things that frustrate us, things that are challenging or difficult tend to stick. They're harder to forget than the things that make us feel good. And it was a really important tool when, there was a tiger chasing us that wanted to eat us, and we had to run away. So that negativity is really hardwired into who we are. But today, it really gets in the way and becomes a distraction from all of the wonderful things that surround us in our schools. And when you're a new teacher joining a school community, it's important for you to choose the people that you spend your time with wisely. There are going to be people who have seen it all and done it all and are not impressed, and who can talk about all of the problems that you'll encounter, and who spend their time in the faculty lounge complaining, things like that. My advice, steer clear of those folks. Find the people who are the relentless optimists, the believer in what is possible, who see the assets in our children and their families, who invest in building trusting relationships, and who are well respected by their peers. They are going to help you grow. They're going to support you. They're going to champion you. If your first semester is like mine, they might help you wipe away a few tears when things are really hard, because it's going to be hard. You just got to know it's going to be hard, but they will be there to help you celebrate, even on what are those really challenging days. And if you can't find those people, you get the opportunity to be one of those people. And I remember I was a high school teacher in a large high school. There were over 120 teachers, and sometimes it felt kind of isolating. And so one of my teacher friends and I decided that we would start bringing in donuts on Fridays. And the people who were the complainers and the been there, done that, they're like, nobody's going to come. And so I was like, okay, well, I'm just going to bring a dozen donuts and we'll see what happened. And we came in my room and we ate donuts on Fridays and connected and talked and built community. And then the next Friday, we had to bring 24 donuts. And then after a few Fridays, we had to move it out of my classroom onto the stage, because there were so many people who were seeking that same kind of community and who, I guess, really liked donuts. And so it was just a good reminder, if it's not the community that you want, create the community that you need. Colleen Wilcox said, teaching is the greatest act of optimism. And so my hope for you is that you carry optimism with you as you go into the schools that you choose to serve in. And I really look forward to seeing you. I try to spend a lot of time visiting schools and classrooms. And so I'm looking forward to seeing you next year when you're in your own classroom and working in your schools. Thank you so much, and congratulations for reaching this point.
Next, we now have a few remarks from Stephen Paulson, who is the 2026 Colorado Teacher of the Year. Stephen couldn't be here either, so we're going to run that video as well.
Good evening. My name is Stephen Paulson, and I'm a social studies and AVID teacher at Greeley Central High School. It has been my honor and privilege to spend the past 15 years in Greeley-Evans School District 6, and I currently work in 9th grade AP Human Geography as I help freshmen work through their first ever AP class, and I also teach the AVID elective program. For those of you who aren't aware of AVID, it is a designed program for first-generation students to not only go to college, but to graduate college and be the first in their family to do so. It is my honor to speak with you all tonight, and I do apologize that I'm not able to do so in person. One of the reasons why I wanted to speak tonight was not to praise you for the recognition that you have clearly earned. Being here tonight is obviously based on merit, and you deserve it. But the reason I want to speak to you all tonight is because I really want to challenge you. I also want to share what it's like to be a teacher and why we desperately need all of you to move into this profession and to carry it forward. I challenge all of you to seek this opportunity that is in front of you with a humble heart. Great educators lead with their heart first and leave their egos at the door. I also advise you, when you get into this profession, to attach yourself to mentors. Find the best mentor you can possibly seek out in your building. Sit in their classroom, watch how they do things. Take every little detail that you see from great people around you and steal it and make it your own. The best teachers in the world are the greatest team. I really don't think I've had a whole lot of great ideas over the past 15 years that didn't start from someone else. I also want to remind you that while this profession is incredibly challenging, we need you now more than ever. As I look at the attacks on public education from certain sectors of our society, and I look at people pushing voucher programs and things of that nature, it makes me realize that public education is needed more now than ever. And what is at the heart of public education is great teachers. No matter what community you go into, no matter what school you choose to work at, there will be amazing students who are excited for your presence, and they use the opportunity of education to help them maximize their future. So I encourage you, as soon as you finish your program and you make your way into first job, get into that community, make yourself a part of that community, and help lift that community up. The work that you do with those students and in your classroom and in your building and outside those walls makes a difference that is almost impossible to measure. Whatever it takes, I urge you to find your purpose. Seek out your why. And when you find that why, you center your work in everything that you do. When it comes to me, I know my purpose. My purpose is clear. My goal as an educator is to lift students out of poverty. The school I currently teach at is about 70% free and reduced lunch, and we don't even have an exact number because so many students are scared to fill out the paperwork. And while poverty is rampant in our school, so are determination, talent, and drive. My job is to tap into those skills and help students break down the barriers that exist in front of them and maximize their potential and open up doors that they didn't know existed. I have been blessed to teach AVID for the majority of my career in Greeley-Evans School District 6. And in the past 6 years, I am thrilled to share with you that my students have won over $11 million in scholarships and have won scholarships such as the Daniel, Snell, Betcher, Questbridge, and more that I can't even remember at this point. And not 1 ounce of the credit goes to me. It all goes to the students. The hard work, determination, and the grit all comes from the students. But at the center of that success is where I find my purpose. I watch students break barriers and end the cycle of poverty and make it easier for their children and grandchildren to pursue higher education. To me, teaching is a tool that allows people to maximize themselves and become the best they can possibly be. And my hope for you as you get into this profession is to find that passion. I hope that you help someone become the best version of themselves, and you do it on a day-to-day basis. I challenge you to become the next great teacher. I also challenge you to do so with a humble heart and to withdraw any ego that may creep in as you get accolades, awards, and recognition. I have been called a master teacher before, and that phrase makes me laugh because I work with 14-year-olds and they, on a daily basis, humble me. They are blunt, they have no filter, they say whatever they think, good or bad, and every day they remind me that the only thing I have mastered is the acceptance of my willingness to improve. Never, ever stop getting better in this profession. Always seek out others, always hone your craft, and never accept that you finally figured it out. One thing I love about this job is no 2 days are the same, but neither are the challenges. So remember that we need you desperately, and as educators, you will make a difference that is almost immeasurable. I truly do congratulate you on the honor of being recognized tonight, and I am very excited to see so many incredible young people coming into our profession. I hope that you accept my challenge of serving with a humble heart and finding a community that needs you and giving your best every single day, because the work ethic that is needed, the drive that is needed, and the determination is needed is not for everyone. But a great teacher can change a community in ways that nothing else can. Congratulations on being recognized for this honor. I am sure it is deserved, and I hope that you realize that we need you now more than ever. Thank you so much for your time.
I'd now like to turn it over to Heather Grantham with CDE to talk a little bit more with some of our honorees about what's your why for teaching.
Okay. Good evening. So, just by a show of hands, who are the educators that we're honoring tonight? If you will raise your hand. Thank you. I want to thank you for choosing the profession of education, and to the family, friends, those that are here supporting them. I also want to thank you for encouraging them or accepting it, whichever one. My name is Heather Grantham. I'm an educator recruitment and retention specialist with CDE. It's just a long way of saying that I have the privilege every day to guide future educators toward one of the greatest professions And prior to that, I also have the privilege of saying that I started off as a science teacher and spent a number of years as a science teacher, assistant principal, and school principal. And now I get to work on behalf of kids every day in finding the most qualified teachers to join our workforce. We are going to tonight spend some time hearing directly from the voices of the individuals who matter most, and that is you. We're going to hear from you your why, because knowing your why, knowing your purpose is so very important, because you're going to have great days where you're going to go home and you're going to go, I nailed that lesson. It was awesome. All the kids were doing exactly what they were supposed to do. And then there's going to be other days that it's going to be tough. And those are the days where you need to reach and remember the purpose and the reason that got you into this great profession. For me, it was to make a difference, and whatever that meant. And what's interesting was, as a teacher, as an educator, you will always have a connection to your students, and they will jump out at the funniest moments. And that happened to me tonight. I was headed to the restroom, not thinking about anything, and all of a sudden I hear this, well, hi, Miss Grantham, right at the bathroom door. It was a student who graduated, I think, 3 years ago. She's in her final year as a nursing student, and she works here, and she's a tutor for science. And so it was phenomenal. So those are the things that kept me going, was to just make a difference, make a small difference. Okay. Tonight, the first one, when I call your name, I have a short little introduction, and I want you to come up here, and I'll hand you the mic, and you will share what is your why for teaching. So we're going to start off with Caroline Martin. So Caroline Martin is in the Inclusive Early Childhood Education program at UCCS. She was cited for her dedication to the profession and exceptional eye for including all learners.
Thank you so much. So when considering my why for my passion behind education, and for me specifically inclusive and special education, it's always a list of names. It's always people that come to mind. My biggest why is here tonight. It's my younger brother, Max. We're only 2 years apart in age, and we are really close. He was diagnosed with a genetic disorder when he was 3 years old, and in order to receive the services that he needed to be where he is today, he needed special education, but there weren't preschools that allowed us to attend the same school and for him to receive those services. I know that was a lot for my parents to juggle, having two preschool age children and having to, I think we were even in different towns for the preschools, like all of the juggling. And as I got older and started to realize that more, I realized I want to be a champion for that not having to happen, because I have gotten to see so many students who do get to go see their younger sibling out on the playground at the end of the day, and how important that is for kids. The other big why, the big person who really inspired me to go into education was a student that we met at his preschool. Sorry. She is such an inspiration to me and where I am now. Young children don't see disability as a barrier the same way I think adults or even older children do. This student was unable to speak or walk or feed herself, but she very quickly became one of our best friends. Shortly after her 4th birthday, she passed away, and her loss has deeply impacted me and has been something I've always carried with me. And so the why that I have from her is, I got to see how at that school where my brother was, they had all of these amazing educators that were there that were so dedicated to making life as full as it was for each of those kids. For my brother, that was setting him on the path where he is now. He just finished his freshman year of college and is doing all this like fancy computer science stuff that I can't even wrap my head around. And, you know, for this other child who was also a big part of my why, you know, seeing the way that educators can make an impact even in a child's life that isn't there forever, and bringing the most light and love and positivity into their lives for as ever long that may be. And those two people are my biggest why. But also, as I have gone through my program and had practicum experiences and student teaching experiences, every day that list gets longer. With every student that I've met and connected with, they are absolutely why I do this. They are what make me show up every single day in the hopes that I can be in their lives what so many amazing educators were for my brother, for myself, and for so many others.
Wow. Okay, Corey McGee. So Corey is in the Alternative Special Education Program at Adams State University in Alamosa. According to the ASU faculty, he is a reflective practitioner who actively seeks feedback from instructors and acts on it to improve instructional planning and delivery, as well as advocacy efforts for students with special needs.
Thank you. Yeah, I'm Corey, and I was asked to share my why. I have many, but I also recently just got married to my wife, and she's out in the audience here, who is also a science teacher. She kind of pressured me into becoming a teacher as well. My original career was in architecture, and I just like designing everything from people's futures to everything like that. And then with advice from her and my sister, who is also a teacher, they saw how it was kind of a burden to be an architect, and all the things I really wanted to do were basically in teaching. So designing futures is going to be my why, and I try to do that every day. I try to break down the barriers too between people in special education or any other student I come across. So thank you. Give this a
Okay. Isabella Idavaya. Isabella is an alternative candidate in the UCCS English Language Arts program with a focus on middle school. Her program leader shared that her balance of grit, insight, and optimism have made her a role model for other candidates in the UCCS program.
Good evening, everyone. When people ask me why I teach, the answer is actually really simple. It's the kids. It's always the kids. I don't think people fully understand what teaching is until they've lived it. On paper, I'm an 8th grade reading teacher, but in reality, I'm a safe place, a cheerleader, a listener, a motivator, a problem solver, and sometimes the only adult a student feels truly sees them that day. I teach about 150 students every year, and I have one little boy back there, my son, and I always joke that I actually have 151 kids, 150 students, and my son. But honestly, it's not really a joke, because once these kids walk into my classroom, I care about them deeply. I carry their stories, their struggles, their personalities, and their wins with me long after the bell rings. Teaching was never just about standards, test scores, or lesson plans for me. Those things matter, of course, but what matters most is the relationships, because students learn best when they know someone believes in them. I think about the students who walk in angry, exhausted, insecure, or carrying things no middle schooler should have to carry. And I think about how powerful it is that a simple moment, remembering something they told me, showing up to their games, asking if they're okay, celebrating a good grade they worked hard for, can completely change the way they see themselves. That's the part people don't always see. The relationships are the foundation of everything. Some of my favorite moments as a teacher have nothing to do with academics. It's hearing a student say, "I actually like reading now." It's watching a quiet kid slowly come out of their shell. It's seeing students realize they are smart, capable, and important, even if they didn't believe it before. And the truth is, my students have changed me too. They've taught me resilience, they've taught me patience, they've taught me how important it is to lead with compassion. They remind me every single day why this work matters. As a single mom, teaching has become even more personal to me. When I look at my students, I think about the kind of adults I hope my own son has in his life one day. I hope he has teachers who make him feel safe, valued, and capable. So I try to be that person for someone else's child every single day. I may only have my students for one school year, but I never underestimate the impact a teacher can have in that time. Sometimes students won't remember the exact lesson you taught, but they will remember how you made them feel. They'll remember who showed up for them. And if my students leave my classroom feeling a little more confident, a little more understood, and a little more loved than when they walked in, then I know I've done my job. That's my purpose for teaching. It's the kids. It's always the kids.
Okay. Abigail Ferguson. So Abigail is a teacher recruitment, education, and preparation, otherwise known as TREP, candidate in UNC's elementary program, which means she started her preparation program in high school. She helps to run the Future Educator Club at UNC and was part of Cherry Creek School District's youth apprenticeship, where she was a para in elementary schools.
My why for teaching is that I've always known that I wanted to be a teacher. It all started when I was growing up, and I would set up my stuffed animal so that I could teach them how to do my homework. Then when I was in high school, I got the opportunity to be a part of a teacher pathway that allowed me to teach at an elementary school every other day when I was junior and senior in high school. Having the opportunity to do this allowed me to fall in love with the career of teaching even more, which has now led me to further my education and go to college to get my teaching license.
Okay. I don't know about you, but I heard every single one of the whys, and I want to run back to the classroom because it's just so inspiring. So thank you so much for sharing your whys. And if we can have one final round of applause for each of our awardees who is willing to share their perspective and their why with us tonight.
Hi, everyone. My name is Sam Fogelman. I currently serve in the Colorado Department of Higher Education as Director of Educator Pathways and Workforce Policy. So much like Heather, I get to work on building great pathways for people who want to become teachers, which is a real privilege. I myself was also an educator. I taught middle and high school language arts for a little over a decade. So I know how tough it is and I know how rewarding it is. So it's my honor and pleasure to present all our recipients tonight with their certificate. If you are here with us tonight, when I call your name, if you don't mind stepping over here with our VIPs, they'll take a quick picture if you're okay with that. And yeah, here we go. Kendall Aragon. Gabby Azar. Marcy Bate. Haley Bernal. And we are going alphabetical by last name, so if you're anticipating where you'll end up. Jason Bowie. Wes Brown. Jaslyn Caballero. Reina Castagnon. Elizabeth Chambers. Rebecca Cheney. Yesenia Colon Gonzalez. Faith Emery. Gabriela Estrada. Abigail Ferguson. Kaylee Hamlin. Haley Hansen. Isabella Adavaya. Trina Jones. Krista Jordan. Julie Kogan. Cameron Lang. Allie Lassiter. Kendall Lyden. Janae Littman. Madeline Leffler. Savannah Long. Caroline Martin. Kendall McCain. Corey McGee. From all that, yeah. That was really well done, teacher guidance. Nice job. Yeah. Amber Michael. Andrew Neese. Talia Otto. Anita Rayburn. Alyssa Richardson. Lexi Ritter. Marcus Robinson. Lorena Robles Munoz. Jackie Rodriguez. Lindsay Ruskin. Megan Swanson. Madison Taggart. Michaela Weber. William Wheaton. And I should have said this before I started doing that, but just so everyone's aware, we do ask each preparation program around the state to nominate 2 people from their programs. So these were very thought out nominations that came through from all your different programs. So you should be very, very proud that you've been selected tonight. We appreciate you so much. We're grateful that you're entering this field when you are, because we need great teachers all over the state and all over the place.